forgotten him with his "I can manage now." He recognized me at once, remembered my name and in what ship I had served under his orders. He looked me over from head to foot. "What are you doing here?" he asked. "I am commanding a little barque," I said, "loading here for Mauritius." Then, thoughtlessly, I added, "And what are you doing, Mr. B?" "I," he said, looking at me unflinchingly with his old sardonic grin, "I am looking for something to do." I felt I would rather have bitten out my tongue. His jet-black curly hair had turned iron gray. He was scrupulously neat as ever, but frightfully threadbare. His shiny boots were worn down at heel. But he forgave me, and we drove off together in a hansom to dine on board my ship. He went over her conscientiously, praised her heartily, congratulated me on my command with absolute sincerity. At dinner, as I offered him wine and beer, he shook his head, and as I sat looking at him interrogatively, muttered in an undertone, "I've given up all that." After dinner we came again on deck. It seemed as though he could not tear himself away from the ship. We were fitting some new lower rigging, and he hung about approving, suggesting, giving me advice in his old manner. Twice he addressed me as "my boy," and corrected himself quickly to "Captain." My mate was about to leave me, to get married, but I concealed the fact from Mr. B. I was afraid he would ask me to give him the berth, in some ghastly jocular hint that I could not refuse to take. I was afraid. It would have been impossible. I could not have given orders to Mr. B, and I am sure he would not have taken them from me very long. He could not have managed that, though he had managed to break himself from drink. Too late. He said good-bye at last. As I watched his burly, bull-necked figure walk away up the street, I wondered with a sinking heart whether he had much more than the price of a night's lodging in his pocket. And I understood that if that very minute I were to call out after him, he would not even turn his head. He, too, is no more than a shadow, but I seemed to hear his words spoken on the moonlit deck of the old Duke. "Ports are no good. Ships rot. Men go to the devil." End of chapter 34.